And whenever Amelia's around, you can just sign in, I guess, and then I'll accept you. Amelia is the coolest. I can't wait for you all to meet her. I really like her. I was just having a day, y'all. Working really hard until like maybe 1:30 a.m. for the past couple days. And then, thank you. And I just really felt like I needed to be grounded. So I asked Amelia to join me on a live to talk about some of the things we do when we feel out of alignment. As we know, right now is Mercury in retrograde. We'll explain what that is further in the chat. But all the things are happening if you don't watch the news. You know, there's things happening in the world, a global shift. And it can take a toll on us, especially empaths, especially, hey Anu, oh my girl. Oh, it makes me so happy that you're here. Anu has been one of my soul sisters for a long time. She's one of my eldest sister's best friends. So by virtue of that, I get to have her as well. So she's someone I look forward to maybe introducing you guys to one day, but she's very special. So I'm gonna hoard her to myself. Amelia, if you're there, let's see. Nope, I don't see her just yet. I'll answer some questions in the meantime. No, this ain't a blunt, girl. It's just Palo Santo. Sure, we'll get into that when Amelia joins the conversation. And this is eucalyptus oil. I need to smell it at all times. Like literally all times. I'm addicted. I put it in my diffuser. I guess until she gets here, I'm just going to keep showing you things that I have around that I use for my grounding routine. What am I up to? I was just writing with my partner who's been killing it, and I took a break. I needed to zen out a little bit, and here we are. Rose water. Highly recommend to balance your pH levels in your skin at all times, especially in the sun. I think everybody should be carrying rose water around. You get a bit sweaty and you're out, or for whatever reason you just need to freshen up. Rose water. Oh, and one more thing. Would I ever keep going with How to Be Indie? Hell yeah! I feel like Marlene and I still live that with our day-to-day choices and our friendship of how that's developed. Yeah, maybe one day I will get Marlene to sing the How to Be Indie theme song, but it's more her department. She's got a very gorgeous voice. Hey y'all, I'm so happy that people showed up. Okay, anyway, so until Amelia gets here, I'm just gonna keep going. This is my gua sha stone. I have a few different kinds. This one I got from Amazon, and to be honest, I'm not even sure if it's real. All I know is that gua sha is an ancient technique of lymphatic drainage from the Chinese origin, dating very far back. And when they originally started doing it, they used rocks or spoons. So I don't think the tool is necessarily the most important thing, though. If you do have real jade or access to access to other stuff, you can use that. Lately I've actually just been using my knuckles. I've been going this way, massaging, but I highly recommend, especially for like here and all the lymph nodes and stuff. I find it really just shapes your face. And I've been gua shaing I think it's gua sha, like you're not really supposed to pronounce the H, but why did Adam die? I don't write the show. Gua sha, anyways, on my arms, my stomach. I've been trying to sculpt. I'm a firm believer in visualization and you know, kind of just imagining what your goal body would be. So in the meantime, I try to sculpt it. until it just manifests one day. But when Amelia... Hey Maria, I actually want to show you something. I have this by my altar. It's one of your paintings that you gifted me when we met. And I actually keep it everywhere because even if I don't have the ability to bring all my crystals or my Buddha and all the things, it's a piece of protection that I just bring, and I can keep it in a book or something so it doesn't get all busted up. So thank you for that. How's Dave? I haven't seen Jamil in a while. We usually do bump into each other. I've been in LA, so now that I'm back, I'm sure that we're due. What else do we have here? This crystal is one of my favorites. Just yesterday I posted this video on acupressure, and especially right now I feel like everyone's like this on their phones, and I just really think it's so important to like stretch out our hands. Yeah.
So I don't think it's gonna work, so I'll just do it like this.
I can yell.
So can I.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I just saw Maria popped onto the chat, and then I was showing her that the piece of art that by my altar. I have it here.
She actually, so you know, it was my birthday a few days ago, and she
Yeah.
made me a new art piece of myself, and it was honestly like one of the. Art is like literally the best gift you can receive.
Yeah, because someone took the time to do that, and I'm still in the phase where I draw stick people, so I really admire visual artists for their abilities, because it's not my gift.
Oh, that's funny. Listen, you can, anything is art. There are no mistakes in art. Okay?
Thank you. Well, I do actually have one of those like vision board books that I scribble, but you know, everyone has their own kind of scribble. That I drew this one a couple years ago of this like master bedroom, and I'm pretty sure like I just drew it out of like a Vogue magazine or something. And a couple years when I moved to LA, I ended up like designing my room with Matt, and then it wasn't until a few years later that I opened it up, and some of our furniture was the same, the bed post that was like the canopy bed with the 4 posts and the curtains and all that stuff, but it looked like a big scribble at the time. And then I was like, yeah, like it actually came true, and I was like, okay, time to do my next one.
Wow, that's powerful. Actually, the first time I ever had experience with like a vision board, I didn't know that I was doing it, and it was something for school, and that's how my business got started. And I saw it like years later, and I was like, everything starts in.
And even like Raven today, like just watching that she got married, and just like even I know when we met you said that you loved That's Our Raven, and I was like, it's one of those like soul tribe things, and anybody loves that show, you're like, okay, I know what you know.
I trust you.
Yeah, exactly. You spent the whole time, okay, I got you. So I used to just like mimic her and love her, and the fact that it was like the first show that like showed any kind of spirit, because I used to feel like a big alien. I would hide it and just like pretend it didn't existed. And then just to kind of see her type of humor and her type of energy and comedy was just, I used to like make my brother act out the other, you know, parts of the show, and then be like, I really want to show like That's So Raven, where it's like me and my name, and it's about like a family and friends and some like fun stuff, and then it like manifested. And now I'm just thinking, I'm like, okay, I got to really just align that vision, because it does happen, and the sooner you have it in front of you, the quicker you can just like put your intention into it. And I forget, I need to do it. It's a reminder for myself, but when these things come full circle, you're like, okay, I need another person to validate it. And that's why even just having this chat today, I thought it was so cool to have you jump on. Obviously the world is going through like a big tragic and amazing shift. And I don't know about you, but I've been feeling it all. I've spent some of this week just in like weird moods. I've been, you know, you watch so much content, you start crying, and then you feel sorry for yourself, and then you have these moods where you're like, it's not about you, it's about other people. But you just have to find different ways to ground yourself and to keep your balance, even though everything seems so not normal at the moment. and I have my practices, but I just also didn't want to come on here and share what's just my way, because I feel like everybody has their own way of doing things. A lot of it is just intuitive, but I didn't want to just come on here and share what are just some of my grounding. So I thought if we had two perspectives, that would be fun. So thank you.
100%. No, girl, like, yeah, this is, I love, anytime you need me, I'm here, girl. You already know. Our first event we threw together, our friend's baby shower, I would say things and you're like, oh yeah, and then you would say things and I'm like, yeah, that's
we were just so aligned at that. It was weird because we hadn't even seen each other in so long, and it's weird to plan an event with somebody, and it's, you know, especially all the little details, and you've seen movies about people who are like fighting to plan the event for their friend, and it just was so not that. And you were so organized and on top of things that it made things so fun to do. And that's when I was like, okay, I could trust that girl with a lot. Like, she clearly plans events and knows food and knows health and people and how to talk to people. And it was so fun. It was a really fun day.
Well, it takes, you know, not just anyone can appreciate that. So, like, I'm happy that, like, you appreciate that, you know?
And our girl, Anna, like, who else, you know, would have been the one to unite us? For those of you who don't know, we met through our dear girl, Anna, who is so special to us both in different ways. But how did you guys meet?
Anna and I, we worked together. We were waitresses at a club, and then we also worked together in the service industry, like catering events and stuff like that. And we were just like, I'm very like, I'm an intro extrovert, so like once I get to know someone, I'm like, I could be myself and be whatever. And Anna was like one of the only people, if not the only one for a long time, that I felt very comfortable around. And I was like, okay, I like you. Because a lot of people, you don't see their true colors at first, and it wastes your energy. It messes you up inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Anna, she's like honest and she's transparent, and like, I don't know, her vibe is very light. Like, her energy doesn't like linger around you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it was, I really felt that. Yeah.
I felt the same
way. What about you?
I met her through Mario. I used to train with him. And we would do a lot of, you know, I feel like I have a lot of masculine energy as well. And we'd always just go, and it would remind me of my old times and my like fighter crew at home. We would just go train, then like get slushies, and then just like split. And then one day he invited Anna, and he was like, you know, is it okay? And I was like, I would love some female energy around. Like, please, I welcome it.
Please.
And she was so cool. And not only was she a chick that could fight, she also is an amazing ballerina. And I was like, oh my God, somebody who does my 2 workouts. I was like, no offense, Mario, I will always have love for you. But she is brought into my life now for a great reason. And she taught me a lot of things. First off, I have a lot of allergies, and I'm very cautious about.
Like food allergies?
Yeah. Like tree nuts. And I was always raised to just be like, be careful of who you just eat food from. Like, just because it's there doesn't mean you should just like eat it. You have to be careful of like whose hands touched it and how they cleaned it and all that kind of stuff. But there was something about, and I can always tell by if I like want to eat the food that you make, like how comfortable I am with you. And Anna, every time she made something, I would just go to her place. We'd have to like work out and then go to her place and then just eat as though the workout just didn't count. But she was vegan. So it was just like the first time that I got to see how amazing vegan food could be. Because I had tried on my own, and I went like hardcore raw vegan, as I'm a very extremist type of personality. But I didn't have any knowledge around how to keep my levels or what nutrients or what vitamins, like as much info as I have done now. So I got a lot of my my tips from her, and I did go vegan for a while. And then
what happened, girl? What happened?
And every time I would eat something, they'd be like, you like that carcass, huh? And I'm like, and then I was pescatarian for 5 years. And then I had a naturopath. I was just going through some sensitivities, and I was becoming more allergic to foods and more sensitive and reacting, and I couldn't really understand why. and went to do all these tests and stuff, which is what put me onto my health journey and the mental space that I'm in now. It was because I had to. But she was like, you know, you need some of those, like, you don't have to have red meats, but introduce poultry back into your life. And I was like, okay. And after 5 years, it was like scary taking that bite to introduce. Now I'm back in, girl. So I need your magic to shake me out of it. And I'm feeling it. Like, I had a bad dream about like meat the other night, and I dreamt it was like my childhood bedroom, and I went in the room and there was just all these like old like rotisserie chickens and all these things that like I forgot about, and I was like, okay, I think this is a heavy sign.
If that's not the universe speaking to you, I don't know what is.
I know.
And you're intuitive, you know. And Mercury is in retrograde, so right now it's time to listen to your intuitions.
Well, there's a reason why you're here, because I needed you to, you know, just like when Anna was in my life and in a more frequent way, I was more mindful and cautious of it. And I think right now when we're like all home and stuck to our own devices and consuming a lot of like toxic stuff on our phones and the media and just a lot of hard things to swallow, whether they're pivotal or not, I think food as medicine is one thing if you know that, but food as like an emotional escape is a really natural tendency, you know? Like, we had a big day and then our thought was like, we should get McDonald's, and then we were like, no. But just that thought of just like after a hard day, like I have to have some junk or something, you know? But I thought we all just needed a bit of a reminder, and I know that whenever you post anything food, I'm always drooling, and I trust you by the spread that you and your sister made and all the stuff that you guys make, that you put like pride into it, which is something that I was always taught to put. Love, you put a lot of like thought into the presentation, which I think is like absolutely key, even if you're eating for yourself alone and no one's around, just like presenting it well. And yeah, you know, there's a lot of advice out there and a lot of people, and it's just like, who do you trust, you know? So I thought, I trust you, and I've got a few people on my page that trust me, and I don't think that I know everything. I'm always learning, as we all are, but we need you to spit that vegan knowledge.
Hey, okay, so I don't know if you know this, but they call me Vegan Killer out here.
I do know.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, thanks for having me. And so I have a lot to say about food. I don't know, do you want me to begin anywhere specific or?
Anywhere. Take it as someone who's just like a beginner, or why did you become vegan? Were you always vegan? How did you start? There.
Okay, so, let me see where it is. Okay, so I'm half Polish, half Persian. And I'll, just to give you a quick background on what I grew up eating, like the national food for like Poland is the sausage.
Yeah.
And then like the national food for Iran is a kebab, which is meat. So I grew up eating lots of meat. If my meal didn't have meat in it, it just wasn't considered a meal. Like, you know how Chef Gordon Ramsay says, the star of the dish, like the star of the dish was always meat. So that was a huge challenge, going vegan. Not for long though, and I'll explain why. But the main reason why I even shifted towards that, now it is about the animals, but before it had nothing to do with the animals. I wasn't on that level to empathize or to even think about how the meat got on my plate. It was purely for health reasons. Long story short, I was hospitalized for literally like over a week. I was so skinny, I couldn't eat. It was really scary. I honestly thought I could have died. I was like 95 pounds. And that was, looking back on it now, honestly, it's really hard to talk about because I don't even talk about it that much. But like, it was like one of the scariest times of my life. And it was even scarier because the people who are supposed to protect you and guide you, meaning doctors, didn't know shit. And it's almost like they were making stuff up. And immediately after I got, because like I went home after a while, and like I was just like, okay, I realized, okay, you're on your own. Like no one's gonna help you. What the fuck is going on? And then I realized, oh, do you care if I swear?
No, bring it.
Okay. Okay. So I was like, what am I gonna do? And I don't remember exactly how, but just diet became a huge, huge, huge factor. And I started learning more and more about food. And then it started off with just like the how do I say it? The mainstream health. So like, you know, growing up when you had like the 4 food groups,
Yeah.
like grain, dairy, whatever, whatever. Which, by the way, I don't know if people know this or not, but it changed now. They completely cut out, I think, like meat and dairy. Like it's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they changed it
Wow.
a few, like last year, so it's not even the same. But anyway, so yeah, so it was more along those lines. And then as time went on, like I moved away from like London. I came to Toronto to do school here and stuff. And then as I was just becoming more conscious and more spiritual and stuff, I learned a lot of my stuff from Instagram, and I was following lots of food and health pages, and veganism just kept coming up, plant-based whole foods, blah blah blah. And I learned from experience, so I would experiment with things, and then like the things that worked were like first I cut out meat and pop and sugar, and then you cut out cheese and dairy and white stuff, and the more you cut out and the more you see the positive changes within yourself, you just want to keep going. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. I feel a lot of the same ways about Western medicine, unfortunately. The more I educate myself, the more I'm disheartened about the what seems like only options for us to have for free or to have access to. And I've spent the past couple years, using a lot of my own time, a lot of my own knowledge, all my own money to test out. Like you said, I'm like trial and error with myself. I go to different spiritualists. I go to different doctors, Eastern, Western. I just had to figure it out for myself because I was going through something, and no doctor really understood or thought it was real or any of the things. Like they weren't hearing me, and
No,
I
they
could just
literally
feel
were like,
that
it's in
something
your
was
head.
out
They were
of.
like, it's in your head. Did anyone ever say anything to you? Like, it's just in your head.
It just doesn't exist, and you're like, okay, but why do I feel out of alignment? And why am I having physical like reactions if I eat something? I was scared to eat anything, and I think what was the case was that my system was just more acidic and not at all like alkalized. It wasn't even neutral. So I used to drink a lot of coffee. I'm obsessed with pickles and acidic things. I don't think I drank enough water. All these things that over time really, I wasn't educated on these things, but they weakened my lining, my system. And so I would eat something and instantly feel a reaction or inflammation or all this kind of stuff. And it was terrifying because you'd go to the people that you would say help, and they're saying there is no help, and you're like, okay. So I remember.
Or take all these drugs, and then there's all these side effects. So take these drugs for those side effects. No.
I was just in America. Every commercial is like a pill or a poison or like all these things. They're like, this is for this, but the side effects are death, cancer, more death, more cancer. And you're like, but take it. It'll get rid of your canker sore or something. Like
I went to visit my cousin in Arizona a few years ago. I don't remember when. And any time a commercial would come on, this is me.
You see these happy.
Is this real?
And they're like, I want to take this pill.
What?
And at a certain point, you realize that. And my dad said it the other day. He's like, you have got to be your own doctor. No one is going to know your feelings. No one knows. No one cares as much as you will care. And I just remember being like, my body's telling me if I can't eat anything, that I'm supposed to eat nothing. And I know I'm not saying to all the people watching this or who will watch this that you should do this. You should always consult your doctor or whoever you believe in, your gut, go meditate on it. But for me, this is my journey of what I did. And I just had to, I fasted, like straight fasted for a few days just to clear out, give my system a rest. And then I just had bone broth because that was the only thing. They call it liquid gold, like all the things that were, I'm sure I could make veggie bone broth. I have never even thought of that. But, you know,
It's
I
veggie
just,
broth.
there, yeah, yeah, exactly. Veggie broth, stock broth. And I just had that for 3 days, and I was feeling nothing. And then I was just slowly only having greens, only having onions. And then at that point, I basically had to cut out everything processed, everything that wasn't green. And I started to heal, and I started to see my eyes get whiter, my spirit come, my figure just show up when I was like, I thought I was like, okay, but like, that's what I really look like underneath all of that. And I'm not trying for it. And my skin was better and all the things were better, and I could slowly start eating more things. And I realized that I guess I just needed a reset. But if we were to reset as a beginner with no like issues or anything, how would you consider starting that? Or like, what are some produce that we should start with?
So, with all my gathered knowledge, like I'm not a health professional or I have no degree. Like I went to school for fashion. Like I went to Ryerson for fashion. So
Well, we both brought ourselves back from the dead, so I feel like there's something to
yeah.
that.
Well, no. So I'm saying this is from my opinion. Just to put it out there, but I obviously believe it's the best thing because I do it right.
Yeah.
I want the best for myself. So anyway, something really easy. And you just always, because I find people don't know where to start, but go to the beginning. So the beginning of your day, for example. So what's the best way to start your day? People think that they have to have breakfast, which is a myth. And I'll also break down the word breakfast. It's like break fast, so you're breaking your fast.
Mm-hmm.
So what is our body primarily made out of?
Water.
Okay, so logically, what should be the first thing that your body consumes in the day?
Coffee. I'm just kidding. Water.
And maybe some Coke and Pepsi. Like,
yeah, exactly. At the same time.
Yeah, so water for anybody who didn't get the joke. Yeah, so you can start your days off with water, and also a lot of people don't know this. I didn't know this till like just about a year ago. Your stomach, its average temperature is 33 degrees. So whenever you drink something and it's below that temperature, you're irritating your stomach and you're making it harder on your digestion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you can drink in the morning, room temperature water, or you can make like hot water, like a tea with like key lime or ginger. But definitely have a big ass cup, or I do a liter every morning. Like that's my minimum because I get busy throughout the day, and so sometimes I forget and I can't drink too much at night because then I'll pee all night and I won't be able to sleep. So I'm just like, I like to get it out of the way first thing in the morning. And then this is one thing I see. So I have a food page. It's at vegan_killa, and one of my like most used hashtags and then I post about the most is fruits for breakfast. Mm-hmm. So fruits are the only thing that can nourish you and cleanse you at the same time, and also they provide you with enough essential sugars so that gives you energy for the day. So yeah, those are two really easy good tips that like I would recommend.
And then what kind of lunch foods, like what do you usually have for at lunch if you're on the go, or if you aren't a pro chef, or if you're not really even familiar with how to be in the kitchen?
Okay, actually, can I show you something? Because,
yeah, of course.
So I actually haven't eaten yet today. I've been doing this thing lately where I fast for like the first half of the day, and then I only eat once a day. And I'm actually like on my period. I'm menstruating right now. I don't know if that's too much information for anybody, but I'm just honest.
It's a fact, and we can't help it. So what?
Yeah. Shout out to Anna for my Diva Cup. Anyways, sorry, she got me up for my birthday. So happy.
By side note, I got one and I'm too scared to try it. I need to gather up the courage and figure it the hell out.
No. Girl, if you want after, I'll tell you what to do. I love it. Like, I love it. Like,
Okay, maybe we can save that for a whole other chat because
girl.
I got it for all the reasons that it makes sense, and then I was too chicken, so I think I gotta figure it out.
Okay, listen, bookmark that, okay?
Okay.
Anyway, so when that happens, you lose a lot of blood, right? And so right now, to make up for my blood loss, I'm eating like red food. So I have my food out here in front of me. Like, so I have my cherry tomato. This is gonna be my breakfast, okay? So I have my cherry tomatoes, and then I have some grapefruit, and then I have my smoothie. It's a berry banana smoothie.
Nice.
So like that's breakfast. And then so for lunch, usually I'll have something. Let me think of something that's good to transition. Okay, something that's really popular that I don't eat it as much anymore because I think I shouldn't be eating gluten, but people really love this and it's really easy to make. It's a pita pizza.
Nice.
And you just take pita bread, because I know a lot of people, like, I can get fancy in the kitchen sometimes, and I know sometimes people don't have the time or the energy or whatever maybe. So
or you just want something junky, but you don't want it to be unhealthy.
Yeah, and so you take the pita and you just put a little bit of you know when you go to the grocery store and you buy that.
I think Mercury is in retrograde and you're frozen.
What?
I think you got frozen. Classic retrograde move, but you are back, I think. Yeah.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did it freeze?
Pita bread.
What? Oh.
Your pizza, the pizza.
So you take pita bread and you put tomato sauce on it, like the one you buy in a glass jar from the store, from like Italy and stuff. And then you just put your favorite chopped veggies, and you can put some vegan cheese on it if you want. And you put in the oven for 425 for 10 minutes, and it comes out, and it's just like, that's one of my favorite things.
I feel like I should do that today. We have a basil plant, and I want.
Oh yeah.
I want to use it. So it's good.
Wait, you know what you should do? You should make basil pesto with basil and walnuts.
I am deadly allergic to walnuts, so
oh my god!
If you have any other suggestions,
sorry. You can use any other nut.
Okay,
and I knew that. I just forgot. What?
I've had it before. Actually, that's one thing in restaurants. I almost never I get them to take it off if I even go to a restaurant because I know they always use nuts. But I'll figure it out. That's why I've had to learn how to be in the kitchen because I've had almost near-death experiences by eating at the hands of somebody else or a random kitchen, no matter how many Michelin stars a restaurant could be. And you just never know. And the only way that I can confidently know that I'll be safe is if I cook myself. And when I was younger and busy working all the time, like you don't even have time for that. And it's not your job and someone's doing it for you. And, you know, there's like coffee to keep you up and sugar and chocolate and all the random things that are coming your way. But when I started just like my life shift and my spiritual shift, I could just tell that getting a hold of the food that I eat and just being like mindful about it was a big part of the journey because it like raises or lowers your vibration depending on what you eat, right?
And I actually, something good for people who are transitioning, who feel discouraged. I read this on a page that I followed the other day, and it was, and this is true. I find this is totally true with my experience. You don't have to change the menu. You just have to change the ingredients. So you don't have to give up things that you don't want to. And especially in this day and age, like when I first started being vegan, I'm telling you, none of this shit that they have now was available.
Restaurants.
Okay? People have it so easy these days. When they complain, I'm like, just stop. Okay?
Yeah.
Like,
I remember Anna took me to Doomies. I don't know if you've been there in Toronto. It's like, she got me this like deep fried burger with mac and cheese. And I was like, it was right after a workout. And I was like, okay, vegan or not, I know this is not healthy. And she was like, no, but it's vegan. And I was like, I guess you're right.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing that I find is like, we're human, right? And so, and if you've been eating away for your whole life for so long, it's gonna take some time to transition. So just be easy on yourself and like, obviously, don't have those things every day.
Yeah.
Obviously, but I mean, slowly, like you can start there and then slowly like come off it. Like I used to be obsessed with Doomies. I went there for like a few months. I went there like at least once a week.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you know what? I got tired of it, and I got tired of kind of like feeling like shit out every day because like it's like all deep fried. It's comfort food, right?
Yeah.
So like literally, I tried to order a salad one time. They're like, "We don't have salad." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not even a Caesar with like fake bacon. Like,
Right.
But yeah, so it's okay if you start there and then like slowly like figure out what your style is and you'll be good.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost easier to start cooking or to food prep on the go with like healthier produce versus like meat and stuff that you have to worry about is like in temperatures and things. Because right now with COVID, everything going on, and I'm just known in general to be like a food snack hoarder. Like I will always have stuff with me because I just hate the idea of like having to go to a restaurant because I'm hungry or something because I don't usually want what they have. I'm just wanting like some veggies or something. So I always have snacks with me. But I feel like that just having fresh produce is a pretty good tip. Just cut it up once a week. We try. Schedules are difficult, but we try to have like at least an hour of just like prepping stuff, just cutting it up, making it readily available. So it kind of looks like the green part of Subway where you can just like grab and go. Also, I wanted to say that your yoga inspires me. We can go back to food and keep talking about that so much, but I just know that like mind, body, soul, like there's three components in order to be completely in alignment. And I think it's always shifting. It's a daily practice. And I know the past couple nights I've been out of alignment. I would say, well, I spend my time putting it together at the end of the night, but I know like for the most part overall, I've been out of balance because I've been writing to try and make a deadline that's overdue. Why is it overdue? Well, to be honest, my headspace wasn't there because of what's happening in the world, and it's really hard to focus on your own stuff and your own fictional little world where it's safe and happy. And, you know, for your own selfish goals, when you know that kids are dying, people are being hurt, all this injustice, COVID, isolation, all the things. So I'll go into after like what kind of practices that I do for my mental health and my spiritual health. But what do you do? I know yoga is one of them, but like what are some of your practices that you do? Give like a routine. I know it's one of the most personal questions you can ask, so feel free to filter it.
Girl, I just told you guys I was on my period. Like I don't
we have no. I know I don't really have that many filters either, but even just like, you know, showing your altar, that kind of thing. Like it's your sacred space, it's personal, and I rejig mine once a week and I'm going to be shifting it all around anyway, so I don't even mind. But yeah, just like thanks for being so open about this. I know it's like the biggest topic ever, but I just know I know a lot and you know a lot, and you know we like carry crystals in our hands because that's just what we do. Yeah. And that, you know, with all the world happening like this, that maybe you might just need like a soul sister out there to just say something that resonates with you or not, and no problem. Like go to a page that does, or someone else's something that does inspire you, but hopefully we can just share some stuff that's worked with us, because I find that at least we align with our, you know, focus on spirituality and commitment to the practice, because it does help selfishly us in the end.
Yeah, but you have to be your best self to others. So it's a circle, right? So yeah, those were like very touching words, and like it you know, I try to be, I call myself a realistic optimist. So like I always try to see the optimism in situations, but also you have to stay realistic because you are living in this matrix reality. And so that being said, any situation that you're ever in, anything, right? There's always going to be good and there's always going to be bad. So, and there's things that you can control and there's things that you can't control. So I find in this specific situation, um, especially there's a lot of, like, I don't know if you know all the, like you said already, there's lots of human rights issues in the world as well. Like, it's not just COVID, it's just everything is, because you sit at home, you have nothing to do, you just watch the news, right? But the plus side to all of this is that we are, we do have the opportunity to get educated, and we do have the opportunity to stay grateful, and whatever little we have, we can share it with others. But also, like, I know it might feel like the end of the world, but literally it's not the end of the world. Like they said in 2012 we were gonna die, in
Year
2009,
2000.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,